general idea of how these players shape up.
Yeah. So with that said, they are actually already in game number 1. We already started the locking phase. So ladies and gentlemen, let's jump in to game number 1 here. LEFU taking on BLZN. Now to kind of clarify, for some reason this was stuck in my head. Maybe they were a different name, but I could have sworn there was a team BLZN that actually
I thought Team BLZN had different regions before, different branches, so to speak.
Perhaps that might have been what it was, because I could have sworn there was an Australian BLZN team.
Right. I think they actually. I remember reading their recruitment thread on the forums. I think they had different branches, but don't quote me on that. That might have been why you were seeing that. But all of these guys, though, they are from US West. I think 4 US West and 1 US East player. Here over for them. So.
And then you got LEFU, their European team, I believe. So just to kind of go over that real quickly as well. But again, this is a round of 64 matchup, still at a point of, kind of a little bit of uncertainty, no doubt, in the era as far as what to ultimately expect. But both these teams are coming off a 2-0 victory. Both these teams actually won their first-round matchup. I noticed that, too. There weren't forfeit wins by any means. They actually played and defeated their opponents 2 games to nothing.
Was it 2-0? Okay, 2-0 for both of them.
Yeah.
So definitely a notch above the rest, at least in that round of 1-28. But here they are facing off against each other. And, I mean, these teams are already well underway. Both teams apparently hating Keeper of the Forest here in their blind bands. Legion Seed by LEFU banning out the Ophelia pick, which... they have first pick. Ophelia, I still think, is a very powerful hero. A little bit easier to shut down now, though, with those wards. So just not wanting to deal with it. Maybe they don't play it as well. And Hellborn team banning out the Tempest. So a lot of the power junglers being taken out.
Yeah, this is definitely shaping up to be a very solid start to this game so far as the blind bands now into the lock pool. And speaking of that, we do have a Bubbles, a first lock, Plague Rider Pharaoh to follow up, Wretched Hag Rally, and there's the Lodestone lock coming out there from BLZN. Rifle, of course, the captain for BLZN. So possible to see Lodestone. And as you may have saw in that recap video for the Runic Shift Invitational, ex-Trademark Esports, they actually ran Lodestone a couple of times. Did very well with him. I mean, this is a hero that, and blind banned by State Green every single game, I believe. State Green blind banded Lodestone. Wait, no. They banned Lodestone. They blind banded Flux and Tundra. Excuse me.
Right, Flux Tundra every game. But either way, not wanting to deal with him. He's in the lock pool here. And if what we've seen so far proves it, I haven't gotten a chance to cast Lodestone yet. I've seen his strength in matchmaking games. As far as in competitive matches, I haven't gotten to cast the Lodestone. Oh, actually, no, I did yesterday in the SCA qualifiers, and he was a little bit shut down in that game in particular, but he's capable of a lot. Huge burst damage, pretty safe initiation, just a huge pain to deal with. Going to be interesting to see him played out here. It takes a while before teams truly get to feel out each hero, potential counters to him, how to deal with them. So, especially early on, you might not want to even bother with it. That's why you are seeing this hero banned out a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, seeing the Lodestone banned out for the most part, but in this case, obviously locked here, again, in favor of BLZN. And speaking of Lodestone, again, one of the new 6 heroes that was introduced in tournament rules via the last patch, patch 3.1, the Runic Shift. We actually had a poll question there in between the series that I'm sure you guys saw, and definitely vote for it if you haven't yet. It was on our Facebook and Twitter as well. On the Honcast, which hero are you most excited to see, basically, is what's a simple question as far as those new 6 heroes. Oogie actually had the lead, at least. I don't have it right in front of me right now, but Oogie was in the lead, something like 22% around there. So
the thing is, Lodestone's not very exciting to me. Oogie's kind of crazy. It's really super powered. He can completely take over a game. Lodestone, it's like, yeah, he's strong. He's got a really powerful initiate, huge skill set, huge ultimate, low cost, high burst. It's there's a lot going for him, but I don't see Lodestone and get giddy.
Giggity. I mean, the Shatter Storm on Lodestone is a pretty cool ability. The fact that you bulk up so much and all of a sudden just goes away, doing some good AoE damage.
Right,
but,
and then leaves you vulnerable afterwards, which pairs up with something like a barbed armor where you actually want to take more damage. So helps cover that period of vulnerability. But either way, I was going to say, I was looking at that Jerazai pick because I saw its shadow, and I was saying if the Legion team wants to pick it, they should maybe try to pick it up last after the Hellborn team may have already shown their support card. It not really being a factor here, though. It is banned out, so Master of Arms still available, and with LEFU having the first pick, it might be something to think about taking out right around here.
Yeah, not too many radical things going on here. Obviously, even earlier on today, the round of 128, we casted a couple of series even in the end. And saw some very interesting play, to say the least. And again, as the tournament starts to move on, you start to get a little more sound as far as picks and bans go and whatnot. And that's kind of the case we have here somewhat. But You never know, especially when it gets to that regular picking stage, third pick even. That's where it can definitely get a little interesting. So, the final ban though, Rifle. Definitely thinking about it here. Down to 11 seconds. Magnus gonna be the final ban actually.
Yeah, Magnus very powerful. I still think Master of Arms just offers a lot of versatility to team. Is definitely a factor to think about taking out, but still being left available. I also see Torture on the board as a primary potential first pick. Master of Arms just a rung above him, so I'm expecting to see both teams drop from him. Pebbles is there as well as Deadwood, so just the two bursty point men, depending on whether you want to go for the magical or physical on the board, on top of very strong support / potential carries there in the Master of Arms and Torture. So
yeah,
overall a lock pool that you really, a normal drafting pool that you really can't go wrong with if you're choosing to draft in the patterns that we saw established in the previous patch.
Yeah. First pick coming out here for Fatis. Tagged up Online Kingdom, by the way. It's been a while since I've seen that tag.
That's old school. That's old school.
Some old school stuff right there. So I can't say I'm too familiar with Fatis in general, but clearly has some connections there. Old school Online Kingdom team, keeping it alive. Master of Arms, you mentioned that. First pick coming up Master of Arms here for our Legion team, for LEFU.
Yeah, could potentially pair very well up with that Deadwood as well if they do opt to give it to him. They have first pick out of this normal drafting pool, and they might favor something like that Rally over Lodestone simply because of the synergy that a Rally can offer a team with that Master of Arms.
Rifle not going to think about their side again. They've already used a bit of extra time, so it doesn't have the most time in the world to respond. Torturer is going to be the first pick. Yeah, right. Torturer coming out, and Aluna going to be on top of that. Now we'll see what
well, they could, because they still have their option of a bursty.
Or they can go Drunken Master.
See, now this is where I like. This is where we actually get to see the effects of the patch come into play.
Yeah.
I actually get to hear other players' opinions too much on Drunken Master. Some of the people I've talked to from the North American scene consider him to be like, oh man, that hero is ridiculous. I think I saw Moon, or heard Moon, though. He's a huge Drunken Master fan. His opinions, there was a lot of clutter going on in the chat, but I think I began to hear when I brought up Drunken Master during the podcast to get his opinion. I think he began to say that that hero still just isn't that great. Maybe he thinks it's ridiculous. I didn't get to quite hear his thoughts on it. So either way, going to see Drunken Master showcased here today. He does have immunity to direct target spells, though. So when you're looking at Master of Arms as a stun, a potential Deadwood draft, which at this point I don't really expect to see coming out. I think Pebbles would be a better pickup here against his Drunken Master. I was going to say it could be very good against a Deadwood as well, where if he's in the middle of the fight, he's laying in havoc. Deadwood can't jump in and punch him.
Yeah. Yeah, Drunken Master, again, he did get that rework with that drink ability, the passive now. You no longer need to channel it to gain those drunk charges. One, I mean, that was something that was just very tedious in general, and I think really turned a lot of people off from playing the hero. But two, I mean, this is already, other than that, I think that he was considered to be actually a pretty powerful hero even before this change. It's just, again, that itself was really holding him back, having to sit there and charge up your drinks. Now with that taken away, now it would be more passive. I mean, his damage output can be pretty radical. And then on top of that, as you mentioned, the Untouchable, a free nullstone in a sense, with his ultimate. It's going to be interesting to see how he's played here for BLZN, and I am excited to see that. But you did talk about the Pebbles, a response pick, Demented Shaman on top of that. Sure enough, Aluna is the final pick over here for BLZN. But it's going to be fun seeing that Drunken Master, though, for sure. It's curious how he's also going to be laned eventually, too, when it comes down to it. But
so it definitely shows that they're two priority heroes here, Drunken Master and Torture, for the Hellborn Sin. Unless they actually choose to go for, they actually could still choose to run Torture as a secondary support, have Aluna primary support, and go with the more dual lane setup. There's no junglers here, obviously, in the pool, so it is leaning a bit towards that in general. I was going to say Torture and Drunken Master putting out a powerful mix of physical and magic damage between them. Not too much else to note right here. I think the Rally is still a phenomenal draft if you can grab it.
You see, he's thinking about it. Sure enough, okay, there you go. Rally is going to be the pick in that lock pool as far as the first pick goes. So back over to BLZN here. I wonder if Rifle, that was meant to be the all chat. You see Starzer is going to have some fun responding there. Yes, Pharaoh is a global hero. So I kind of wonder if maybe that's what he was kind of getting at, that global presence with somebody like a Pharaoh, of course, a Tormented Soul. Now remember, with him, the Tormented Soul no longer blocks camps anymore.
Two solos very possible here, as you might see something like a Drunken Master tri-lane even.
Bubbles,
and Lodestone. So definitely fulfilling those roles. And Lodestone's a hero as well that if you need a roam and gank for him, he does have a setup stun. Not as accurate as something like, say, a Rally Compel, but Still fairly easy to land, so I like their landing a lot. I like the aggression of their team overall on both sides. You can see how they finish up their draft here. I don't... Okay, so they have public... Okay, so that... Really, they have a bunch of options here depending on what they want their other solo to be, and their opportunity to go for the Plague Rider. All three of those heroes could have fulfilled that role.
Yeah.
Haven't really seen too much out of Plague Rider lately. That's another hero with more direct target spells. And when I was looking at a hero like Drunken Master, it's... Okay, they have Rally, and they have Pebbles. That is very strong. 2 Line Suns they can use to deal with him. One of the things about the fact that you constantly get passive drink charges now is that you can pretty much guarantee that whenever you cast your spells, you're pretty much gaining that added effect to it.
Yeah.
So the ultimate, yes, they do have these 2 heroes that can sort of pierce through Drunken Master's defenses with his Untouchable activated, but he does, with 2 drink charges, reduce all damage by 40% for that duration.
I believe it levels up.
As you max it out.
Still, it's great point to bring up as well. It's not just a null stone; it is also a damage reduction with the charge, and that's a great point. I mean, the fact that again, that going back to the passively drinking the charges, if you go into a battle, say you just didn't have the time to beforehand, you needed to go in, that you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, say you get jumped and then you're mashing your ultimate in the middle of it, right? You need to pre-drink your charges. Now you just pretty much are guaranteed. There's just a lot less tedium in general in playing the hero, so
yeah.
Looks like LEFU, though, needs to get a remake here, having messed up the swaps, not being on their comfortable roles.
I mean, it is technically in the hands of BLZN. It's if they want to oblige, and it looks like that they are fine with that. So we're gonna go ahead and have a remake here. The unfortunate thing with the Haunter system is that does mean we do have to go through the lock picking once again. You just hope that these teams can be pretty quick when it comes down to making sure that they move along here in what is the round of 64 once again. So we'll get back into that game as soon as possible. But yeah, gonna see the Drunken Master, the Lodestone over here. Lodestone is making his Hauncast debut. Again, we definitely saw him this previous weekend, but in the games that we didn't cast. So looking forward to seeing how he does in this game as well, and all this talk that's going on about him. But yeah, the Drunken Master, I know, like myself, like a lot of other people, I mean, for the longest time, a big reason why he got the rework in the first place was because he was down there as far as most popular heroes played. I mean, I think he was like always on the bottom 5 heroes for the longest time as far as heroes that were played. So this is no doubt a change that was meant to not only enhance that number a little bit, but maybe bring back a little bit of his competitive viableness. So, but as you're talking about, it seems like there's a little bit of a mixed opinion in terms of if he actually is that very powerful hero or not. Okay, I guess I didn't even need to rejoin the lobby. I mean, it just automatically loaded. That's pretty nice. I was sitting here trying to actually join the lobby, and it's like, no, we'll go ahead and take care of that for you. Go to automatic contour system. Okay, so we are back into the game now, and again, hopefully we move along this fairly quickly here. And what is going to be game number 1? So, again, the round of 64. This will be our last cast of the day, of course, but that doesn't mean coverage is stopping by any means. Tomorrow, it'll be picking right back up at the same time we started today, so 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, 1800 Central European Time. We'll be coming back at you with what is going to be the round of 32, and then following that with a round of 16. So it does cut down very, very quickly, of course, here in these events. So moving along here, again, just make sure you lock those 4 heroes that were actually picked up, and then, so now lock a random hero here. There you go. Now the banning stage is don't ban any heroes that got picked up, and then we'll be good to go. So I must say I'm a little disappointed that Sir Bensington isn't available in tournament rules. He seems like he'd be a very fun hero to watch with his ultimate. What is the ultimate even called?
Well, we still have global presence from other heroes at least. And not that he's, I guess with the Staff of the Master.
Yeah,
he's global, but technically, but either way.
All right, so banning stage moving along quickly there.
Not much to note here. I mean, everyone's sort of quickly drafting the heroes they need to draft.
Yeah, some good manners. Definitely shout out to BLZN for obliging there. Our Legion team is thankful of that. All right, so now the lock stage. Pick the same heroes, and then we are good. We're moving on to game number 1. As far as other matchups go, I didn't get a chance to look too much into the brackets as far as moving on to this round. So it still seems like, again, that we're at a case, though. Although now all the top 2 teams are set to be playing. After getting a bye in the first round, they're still matched up against unknown team. So we'll have updates for you after this match, and if we do hear about any crazy upsets that may have happened, as this is a single elimination point still. So, but the likelihood of that taking place is rare for obvious reasons. Okay, it looks like we are good to go now, though. Both teams do have their heroes, and we are loading in. Okay, so moving back in here.
What?
Are you kidding?
Yeah, okay. I think Rifles is being a little bit of a troll there. Maybe not. We'll have to actually see. Don't tell me. Don't worry.
Is it different?
I think he's trolling. He's a little bit of a
trolling,
goofy guy, but
you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
Whew, okay. We're good. We're good. We're good, guys. We're good.
Shout out to Rifle, by the way. He's actually assisted in the past with the number of video assets, and I actually didn't expect to see him competing here in this tourney today. So
yeah,
shout out to him.
Having some fun here. Nothing like having some good manners. Again, in the end, it is a game, obviously. You always have to. Seems like we do have to reiterate that sometimes. And ultimately, it's a game about having fun, and this is definitely giving a lot of these teams that opportunity amongst Han Tour itself, obviously, and now events like this with the DreamHack Summer 2013 qualifier. So, with that said, man, that's coming up quickly. What is it now? It's just over a month away for DreamHack Summer 2013. Jeez Louise, man. Time just freaking flies on by. So
I'm trying to think of in the history when we've had such a monumental shift. I mean, this is definitely one of the biggest shifts we've ever experienced here in Han as a result of one patch. I'm trying to think of the previous DreamHacks if there's actually been a circumstance similar where such a major patch came out like only about a month before the event occurred. And, trying to think throughout Han history, nothing's like sticking out in my head. I mean, you guys can let me know if you can think of anything, but.
I mean, obviously, there's never. This is the biggest patch, especially in terms of balance, that has ever happened in Han. I think that's no question.
That's clear, but just there have been patches before that have buffed major heroes to the point of extreme usability, and I don't know.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely it's a good time. It's a lot of fun to watch, and it's just going to continue to be a lot of fun, especially
for sure
once we get into those later rounds, of course, with the teams that we do know and love. But for teams like these two, trying to make a name for themselves here. This is an opportunity.
A lot of players, no matter if we see these teams in the round of 64 trying out new heroes, trying out new strats, a lot of teams look for those final matchups for validation of potential viable strategies.
Yeah.
Until then, whether it's a good team using it or not, as long as they're not facing off against the best of the best, people a lot of times don't have the validation they need to say, oh, hey, this has become a viable strategy. Oh, hey, this can work. So, well, we are going to see a mix-up of different applications of the new heroes, of the new changes. It's going to be waiting until that round of 32, that round of 16, before we can really make more of a statement on a lot of those changes.
Of course. So Drunken Master going to be ran down here. Looks like initially a tri-lane setup, going the aggressive tri-lane. It's powerful, man. I mean, Drunken Master with that lunge, he will get in there, set up a good stun from Torture, I'm sure, on top of Aluna and her ability. So it looks like they're going to be matched up against a Rally, however. Rally, of course, with that Compel. That's going to be the saving grace for him, if anything, and definitely a hero that can manage a 1v2, even in. I mean, I can't say I've ever seen him in a 1v3 situation because trial lanes before this patch just were very, very minor. We didn't really see much at all. But since the patch, that's another thing that's definitely started to pop up a little more with this trial lane atmosphere. So I am kind of curious. Again, it does have potential, but Rally, no doubt with the Compel, you would think should be able to stay alive, but it's easier said than done. That's
during the first few waves here, they should just be focusing on establishing lane control, getting the lane back. Rally, due to having that built-in escape mechanism, people often joke like, oh, hey, a Rally against a 1v2 lane in middle, he can almost get as much farm as needed, but in the side lane, against the tri-lane, he should definitely be shut down. Whether or not they're going to be able to kill him or not, though, is another story.
Yeah.
And they're not really. Lane control is slowly going in their favor. By this next wave, it should push back, and that's when Rally truly should be edged out of the lane. Meanwhile, taking a look at the other matchups, they do have Bubbles in that safe lane. He should not die unless he really makes a fatal flaw in his judgment. Plague Rider is nice to have against him. It's going to guarantee lane control for this Massive Arm, so they should be able to box him out of experience range. But I would not expect to see any kills. Yeah,
not a usual duo that we're used to seeing Plague Rider matched up with Master of Arms up there, but this should be a good farming lane as you're putting it for Master of Arms when it comes down to it, especially with that Plague Rider teammate being able to deny constantly. Dimension Shaman was roaming down into the bottom lane a little bit, but he actually put the Rev down trying to counter ward this ward of sight, but obviously not nearby it. So in the end, the Ward of Rev not doing too much, goes back to the middle lane, and instead going to continue to assist this Pebbles. Being at the bottom lane at this point wouldn't really do too much, so kind of forced to just leave Raleigh there on his own, and if anything, force BLZN to make some adjustments here, but not able to counter ward.
Talked with Nova a little bit more about the this is the ward blocking, the counter warding game that is a result of this new patch as well, because where you place that ward of sight is really critical now, because there's no one spot where you can place a Rev ward that'll guarantee you can do the entire clearance.
True.
So as a result, there is more mind games you see right here. He's not quite catching Misa Campo's ward, and well, a little bit unfortunate there for Starzors, but I'm sure he'll make do.
Yeah. I saw all these dots coming down here in the minimap, but sure enough, it's just the illusion of Luna running in onto Rally, putting some pressure on him, getting him to fall back. He talked about that lane positioning. It seems like they've done a pretty good job of getting that in favor of Drunken Master here, and should allow him to really start to enhance that farm. He's already 15 and 10, and again, he can snowball. From when we did see him when he initially was playing the competitive scene, I mean, he gets that early Souls bulwark. He can put out a lot of physical damage early on, kind of like a Monkey King, really, where he's a very dangerous early physical damage presence. So definitely, again, excited to see that and how that works. And also, again, another hero that I could only see the Elder Parasite on as a result of the change especially. So
definitely a potential option with that stagger ability really stirring up his move speed and attack damage. And with the Drunk Charge, he should be able to keep that constantly applied. No points in Drink just yet. He is level 3, so I'm sure you'll see a point being placed right now.
There we go, yeah.
And, honestly, it's huge actually with that launch. It does apply that movement speed slow now on top of the damage with the stagger. So
Lowstone in some trouble. Going to use this Q right there, the Rocket Drill, and will be fine. But obviously, Demented Shaman and Pebbles really trying to make their mark here onto Lowstone, putting some pressure. Rally in the meantime at the bottom lane. The lunge coming out on top of the chain reactions. Will it be enough damage in the end? It doesn't look like it. Again, the compel from Rally. He survives fairly easily right there, honestly. At half-life, he's just going to eat some trees. But if anything, they are boxing him out and continuing to give lane positioning to this Drunken Master. So although they're not getting kills, they're definitely keeping the pressure up and making life difficult on a Rally here. Although Rally is level 4 at the same time, so at least he's getting levels. And of course, that's really what you're asking for out of him if you're LeFu here on the Legion side. So
yeah, I think with 3 heroes, they could have done a better job boxing him out of experience range at the very least, using the 2 supports in the lane. Either way, he is getting those levels. Lane has pushed back to his tower now, so Rally doing an excellent job. And, oh yeah, BLZN not playing the lane to optimal effectiveness. Still, that just goes to showcase the power of Rally and how difficult he is to kill. Inherent tanky nature combined with a free blink away in that compel. Really difficult to deal with.
Master of Arms in the meantime, again, as expected, really. He is having a fairly good time up here, 21 and 10. Bubbles, on the other hand, 9 and 1, somewhat being locked down there. So again, good news, but also kind of like the Rally situation, kind of looking at the levels. He is level 4 compared to the Rally, who is level 5. Obviously, having that Plague Rider teammate no doubt helps, though, once again, with that Extinguish, being able to keep the lane pushed back. Pebbles also, fattest here on Pebbles. He is also having a very good time. 332 gold per minute saved up. Obviously, that means the Lodestone somewhat struggling in what's basically been a 2 versus 1 for the most part. Aluna is now here. She is definitely under-leveled, though, still only level 2. As Demented Shaman is level 3, and you get a level 5 Pebbles. Currently, Invis Rune actually bottled up, so keep that in mind and see if Pebbles maybe gets that opportunity. Ghost Marchers, though, on Drunken Master, continuing to go at it when it comes to his creep farm, and he does remain on top of the GPM charts here as we are quickly approaching that 6-minute mark. Middle lane, Torture wants to set up something, but seems like Demented Shaman and Pebbles might have spotted it, and they're going to fall back.
One thing, they left Drunken Master here against the Rally, and yeah, he has the Ghost Marcher's advantage, but there's no way Drunken Master's going to be able to drop the Rally here, so really it just came back to the fact that I think they needed to box him out of experience range. I mean, he's going to be hitting level 6 here soon. If Drunken Master were to try to dive him at the tower, he has total immunity. Just landing a Compel into that Seismic Slam would result in a dead Drunken, in spite of his early farm.
Bubbles taking a lot of pressure right there, doing a good job, though, of take covering on the Forked Lightning attempt. Able to help keep himself alive. He did have a shell surf that whole time, but he didn't want to risk using it and not being able to get away. So was pretty confident that he could without it, as he did. So need to be careful right there. Oh, he take covers a little early and nearly puts him in a dangerous spot. But once again, barely staying alive. So good for him. Lowstone, level 6, has that Shatter Storm. Interested to see if that could possibly set up a kill here, although it is a Pebbles Demented Shaman. And don't know what the likelihood of that, especially by himself, let alone even with an Luna, is possible. But we'll keep that in mind as we are now approaching that 7-minute mark. Again, back to the bottom lane, you kept addressing. I mean, Rally level 6. He's got that seismic slam now. And he is even starting to get some decent creep kills here as this game starts to move on. Just passing that 7-minute mark. Drunken Master, on the other hand, 580 gold saved up. And still on top of the GPM charts when it comes down to it. Luna and Torch are roaming all the way to the top lane now. They're going to try to maybe get this Master of Arms or Plague Rider, who may overextend on Bubbles, seeing that he's about half-life currently, just above it. So
yeah, he actually opted, it's a route that I used to see. Not a lot of Drunken Masters go, but he actually opted to level up the lunge. I think most Drunken Masters, I used to see Sabuska do it occasionally back in the day, but most people sort of fell back on the fact that agreeing that Stagger, they felt, was the slightly stronger build, especially with those Ghost Marchers, allows you to keep pretty much in constant haste. But meanwhile, there is a fight top lane, Breaky. Yeah,
Bloodlust kill coming out right there. Good coordination from the Hellborn team, honestly. Bubbles, a great timing as well to go in and use that Song of the Sea. Also, the Shell Surf diagonal was a little risky because it nearly didn't hit Plague Rider, but it was able to hit him and assist for the what was the Bloodlust kill. So fairly later on, Bloodlust kill, but yeah, better late than never, right? So BLZN gets the Bloodlust kill, and again, as expected, Torch and Luna finally run to the top lane and get a kill onto that Plague Rider. So a beautiful start for them. And now Bubbles is going to get a couple of creep kills here, as well as push the tower a little bit at this top lane. So good job for them. And actually diving on a Master of Arms, the Kelpfield comes out, turn around a chance on a Bubbles, not going to happen though. The take cover, helping to keep him alive, and that goes to show you just the pressure that this Legion team, or the Hellborn team, excuse me, could put on. Dive in the tower even.
Yeah, just excellent job roaming out to that top lane in general and not coming out empty-handed. Setting themselves a 2-0 advantage, definitely what they need to hear in this game. So far, right now, I'm taking a look, Pebbles is going to be their snowball hero. He is farming very well, still only sitting on Steam Boots here at the 9-minute mark and very, very, very far away from what will ultimately be his portal key. So not going to get that early 9-minute portal key that we can see sometimes. And, wow.
Yeah, I missed that bottom action, but sure enough, Master of Arms helping out the rally right there for the kill. Stalagmites in the middle in the meantime. Pebbles kind of running into them and eventually falling back, going to be fine. But that's a big kill on a Drunken Master. He's kind of been the free farming hero really in this game overall. And obviously getting killed right there, so that's huge news for LEFU. And they're going to now start pushing out this bottom lane. So again, a big kill, and they're going to apply some pressure to the tower even, it looks like.
Yeah, I mentioned I wasn't really comfortable with the lane control of the Drunken Master. He was constantly at their tower. And with that Compel Seismic Slam, all that happened is he got the Compel off and he wasn't able to activate his Unbreakable in time to follow up stun, and down he went.
Jeez, you see right there, the Shatterstorm damage not even applying before Pebbles dies. Great turnaround right there coming out as Torture and Luna both assist. They're doing a great job of roaming around this game and eventually setting up a couple of kills now. So good turnaround onto Pebbles. Bottom tower, though, does go down in favor of the Legion team. So in the end, still a positive coming out of that whole situation. As we saw right there, you see Luna picking up another Illusion Rune, but she is going to run back to the middle lane with it. So well played right there by both teams early. Getting a kill for the Hellborn side, but a tower kill for the Legion. And you look at the gold difference, well, it's basically identical right now. So just over the 10-minute mark, we are looking at, safe to say, a very even game here. Back and forth. Drunken Master is going for that first item, Soul's Bulwark, by the way. As, ooh, need to be careful again, but he's going to be fine this time.
Yeah, I mean, the only downside I can see is, once again, how squishy he is, just having gone the Ghost Marchers. He has increased armor now, but that's not something that Rally entirely cares about thanks to his battle experience ability. And the Compel Seismic Slam plus one other nuke should still be enough to drop down a Drunken Master, who's sort of caught off guard, not able to activate the Untouchable in time.
Yeah. Especially with that goo coming out from Master of Arms on top of that, as he was in that position ready to do so. But in the end, Drunken Master now pushing back out the bottom lane, although now he's cutting towards the middle because you got the Legion side LEFU here. They got Master, Demented Shaman, and Rally grouping up, pushing the middle lane. We'll see if maybe Drunken Master can kind of get some positioning here. And Lowstone comes in with that drill, only stunts Rally. Or I guess got Master of Arms as well, but both are going to be fine. The offensive Master is calling himself and easily helping him to get away. So the ports came in, but they were not able to set up that turnaround here in the middle lane. However, all 5 of them are basically here in the middle lane. So there's a chance that they're now going to push out this middle lane here.
Yeah, they came in the portal 1 second too late, though, thanks to TP change.
Yeah.
On top of the fact that when Lodestone went in, he didn't quite have his ultimate available yet. He was just trying to lock them down there at the tower. Choosing to actually keep 1 point in Rocket Jill and level up his passive from here on out. Not really worrying. He has a, it still does the slow, it still does the stun at all levels, so just a little bit of extra damage, and it only does half damage on the second hit when they're hit twice, so
yeah.
I can understand that build law. It just makes him a tanky mess up in the front lines. With that earlier Helm of the Black Legion about to be picked up, it's going to leave them something that they have to answer to.
Yeah, the fact that heals him up and the charges that start forming those shields around him, as you can see the two currently. So, yeah, when he gets that Helm of the Black Legion, and of course you mentioned Drunken Master going the Ghost Marchers first, so he's a little bit vulnerable there, but he also will start to become more and more tanky and beefy even, especially with that ultimate, the Untouchable of his. Torture going pretty aggressive right there, but at what cost? Torture going to be turned on. The Rocket Drill coming out, the Shadow Storm activated by Lodestone. There's the explosion, and in jumps Drunken Master with the lunge, and down falls Master of Arms, but Rally's still out for blood. Oh, the take cover from Bubbles. He's going to fall in the end, but now Rally's in a little bit of trouble, being chased back. The stagger coming out from Drunken. Oh, the Plague bouncing around Lodestone, taking plenty of damage. The chuck in the air from Pebbles. The Plague still bouncing around, but it doesn't finish off Lodestone. Rally falls to Lagman's his Drunken Master. He'll go to Lodestone with the head smash, gets the kill, stays alive somehow, and he's going to fall back. A crazy exchange in the middle lane, but Lodestone living the whole time. I guess the passive doing work there.
Yeah, that was absolutely insane, and you can't actually kill yourself with that head smash. It can bring you down to next to no HP, but it cannot kill you. So a major misplay. Yeah, excellent. Evening it out there by BLZN. One of the things I saw that happened, though, is Lodestone he chased after that Master of Arms, sort of caught him off with his ulti, was applying the hurt, and then Drunken Master leapt on him, and that was going to kill him. Just the Drunken Master lunge alone plus an auto attack, and he actually chose to use the head smash on a target that was basically done. So for the next 7 seconds of the fight, the Rally would have been able to be picked off a lot sooner had he had it up, but did not. So a bit of a misplay there and overspill damage, although, it's as the saying goes, better safe than sorry sometimes.
Yeah.
You got to use your... It's hard to accurately judge every single little play as the fight's going on.
Yeah. Speaking of Lodestone and Lodestone and Drunken, they run right past this Ward of Sight. They were going to this bottom lane, but good job by LEFU who placed that Ward of Sight. It looks like it was YOLO Ludwig here playing the Plague Rider, giving vision to Master of Arms, and realizing that he might have been in a little bit of trouble. So he falls back to the tower middle lane in the meantime. We got LEFU pushing the middle tower. Torturous here tonight. Attempt! It is successful! Great job by Rifle right there. Perfect timing on his part. Back to the bottom lane now. Master of Arms is in trouble. The lunge does connect. The Rocket Joe comes out, and Master of Arms is in trouble. Demon's Master Call comes in, though. Lodestone with the Shadow Storm activated. He wants this kill, but is he going to get it? I don't know if he is. There's the explosion. He is very vulnerable now, as you see in his animation, and Lodestone will get turned on. Great job by the Legion team right there. Tower got denied in front of them, but they do set up a counter kill at the bottom lane. Top lane, though, in the meantime, Bubbles does take it out. So action really picking up here as we're approaching the 15-minute mark. It ain't over just yet. Rally actually running the Torture Seismic Slam and the auto attack to take him out. Rally coming out of nowhere. Surprising Torture, I'm sure. Off into the jungle right there.
Buddy, Invisible Luna not able to interrupt his combo in time. Unfortunately, he was close by. Not quite there yet. Opens up room for... It looks like they're going to pressure bottom here. I mean, I don't agree with them staying. I mean, heroes are reviving. Maybe they're going for a quick pick off here. A quick one and done. Drunken Master does have his ultimate up here in just 2 seconds, though.
Yeah, you see.
He's going to be fine. He's going to be fine. He doesn't even have to.
I mean, he is kind of going for those creep kills with
That's
3
okay,
Legion players
though.
nearby.
I mean,
but
Hubble's stun is down, and the others he can react to, so.
True. Yeah, he's pretty confident that he could. In fact, now he's chasing right here. Look at the stagger coming out the lunge. Oh, but he's stunned in mid-animation. And now Drunken Master needing to turn around. He is going to be turned on. Will he survive? No, he will not. Red stun coming out of Pebbles in the meantime. Lodestone jumps in. Doesn't have the Shadow Storm just yet. 19 more seconds. He jumps in with the drill, but now running away. The Blade Plague bouncing back and forth. Lodestone. The Creep Brave Lodestone will fall. The Chuck. The poor man's Portal Kid Master of Arms finishes him off. And now Aluna is going to be chased down as well. The stun not in time. And down falls Aluna. So the dive big time from BLZN does not pay off. It ends up being a 3-for-0 exchange.
Yeah, Pork Chop, man. I gotta say, okay, he's not the tankiest hero right now, but he dove in. I could see what he was trying to do. He didn't activate his Untouchable, so as such, that direct stun coming up from Master of Arms prevented, although he got the lunge off, it prevented the actual spin. The good part of the lunge, the part that you're going for, yeah, huge play again. And once again, Drunken Master being foiled by this Master.
Yeah,
it seems like that's his rival throughout the entire game between the shields and just the kiting that's been happening, the interrupts.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, it is kind of silly when you think about it from of course, kind of a hindsight point of view from me at least. But if you're going to jump in like that, you're knowing that you're going to be using a channeling ability in lunge. Hold that thought, though. Kelfield coming out on Pebbles right here. There's that lunge on top of the stagger, pushing him backwards. Bubble Shell Surf goes through, and Pebbles will eventually fall. So right there, some good coordination coming out, and the Gambler playing the Bubbles gets the kill. But my point being, you got to be willing to activate that that ability, the untouchable, going in. You can't wait to, react with it in cases like that, especially with it being a fairly short cooldown. It's
and Master Arms saw him running up. It wasn't like, it was he caught him from the fog, and, he's not going to have time to react. He saw him running up, so it gave him time to prepare and activate that charge shard.
Yeah, so, not making the best decisions, at least initially there. Got killed. Does set up, though, a kill, though, in the end. And, again, this continues now to be a very action-oriented game as the kills have started to roll in since, I believe, it was around that 8-minute mark or so when we got the Bloodlust. So, and there's a 9-7 hero kill lead right now for LEFU.
Yeah, the goal lead's a bit deceiving, though. They still have their 2 outer towers up, whereas all 3 of them for Team BLZN has been dropped. So one team fight, you will see those outer towers fall. The gold lead can easily be neutralized here.
Mobile's running around. You got a Luna also chasing out with those Striders of hers. Not going to be able to catch it to Plague Rider, though. Torch, in the meantime, also starting on down into the bottom lane. Master of Arms, though.
They're trying for the Master again, man. We've seen how this goes in the past. Are they going to be able to actually land it here?
There we go. The lunge comes out. Still no untouchable. Going to be used. Even the Master Call comes out. Drunken Master dropping fairly a bit himself because of that tower. And Master of Arms will stay alive. So you see Drunken going to channel those drink charges, but now Rowley jumps in. The Seismic Slam, and look at Drunken Master just absolutely gets evaporated right there. Oh, man, pork chop.
I hate to feel like I cursed him, but we've seen that same story time and time again. Every time they keep going for that Master of Arms deep on the Legion territory. It's something that they just got to be careful. Well, bring more heroes if you're trying to burst them down. Bring your entire team. Do not just keep going in like that. Learn your lesson, man.
Yeah. You're right. I mean, it's the 4 deaths. I'm pretty sure all 4 of those deaths, if not at least 3 of the 4, have been because of that Master of Arms being involved in one way or another. So, yeah, it's definitely his bane right now. And look at this mass bottom push coming out. Rally, Pebbles, Plague Rider, and Demented Shaman. Demented Shaman with that Astrolabe. You got Plague Rider porting out, but the bottom tower is dropping fairly quickly. Middle tower, though, being pressured by the Hellborn team. So BLZN at least trying to get something out of this, but here we go. The mass TP's coming out to get the bottom secondary, and everyone coming in. Lodestone running away. He's going to be stalagmites. Rocket Joe not in time. Can he point with it in time? In comes the follow from Master of Arms. There we go with the trick in the air. Big Kelfield cutter from Bubbles. It will be enough for time. Oh, but the Plague still hits, and down he falls. It bounces to Bubbles. Oh, the kill still successful. As beefy as Lodestone is, just not beefy enough.
For a while there, it looked like because the Compel and the Chuck were overlapped a bit, like he was going to survive. It looked like he might survive there for Nia, and yeah, unfortunately, that Plague Carrier just taking him right on out. So Lodestone not having the best of days. Already down 7K here, gold and experience. Snowball is continuing. Master of Arms only 250 gold away here, 260 gold from his Nullstone. I like that he was trying to poke for it, though. At this point, even if he misses, they are down Lodestone, so they don't want to counter-initiate just yet. So it was very a safe decision for him to go and see if he can get a quick pick-off. The Nullstone pickup, not something I usually like to see on Master Arms compared to the earlier build-up items. Like the Steam Boots Energizer combination into something more like that Geometers and Shrunken Head. But when you're playing against a Drunken Master, who is meant to be the primary carry here for the Hellborn team, that Nullstone does completely shut down his ability to get to you.
Yeah, the lunge
lock you down, I should say.
Is that a good thing, though, for Master of Arms? I mean, it seems like that he wants him jumping him in this game. So.
As the game progresses, it moves more towards the team fights, and more of an emphasis is placed on him as a carry. I think he's quite content with being safe.
Tablet of Command just picked up by Rowley, by the way, so that's another tool now on top of his free tablet with that Compel ability. Also, of course, the Helm of the Black Legion, so he's becoming quite the presence here as you look at the GPM chart. He's only 3rd on his team, though, as he got Pebbles, and then, of course, that Master of Arms. He just got the Nullstone, as you mentioned, for himself. Drunken Master staggering through the Legion jungle, but not able to catch anybody just yet. Trying to find that Demented Shaman.
Yeah, sticking with only 1 point in stagger here.
True.
I really don't know how I feel about that. I feel like he could have just left due with a couple charges of drink. I feel like it's so powerful. It gives you so much sustained damage in fights when you actually choose to level up that stagger. And when you went Ghost Marches, I was like, oh yeah, okay, you don't combine with stagger. He's going to pretty much constantly be moving at haste move speed.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, not going that. Of course, the benefit of the drink is the more charges on top of when you do drink it, you get a little more out of it. But Yeah, I definitely see where you're coming from. That is actually a little odd to see that decision there. But speaking of Drunken Master 2, going the Shrunken Head, it looks like, with that Mighty Blade pickup. So has another 1,000 gold saved up, still a ways off. But apparently also BLZN feeling pretty confident as a team right here that they can make something happen. They're pushing the secondary tower, and they are not being surprised-like about it. They are really just kind of going full force. They're going to start falling back now. But in the meantime, you just see that Master of Arms pushing out the top tower. Secondary tower, that is, and now he's going to pour it back to base and get some regen. So they spent that time pushing the bottom lane and didn't really get much out of it in the end in BLZN. Kind of unfortunate for them. You see Pebbles with the illusion here. Nope, going to despawn though before anything dangerous happens to it. So yeah, BLZN right now, they're finding themselves quickly starting to fall behind. I mean, we're already now at a 9,000 gold lead, as well as an 8,000 experience lead in favor of LEFU here.
Not to mention Drunken Master, he's completely physical damage reliant. They have the tablet now. They have that rally compel. I feel like if you want a Drunken Master, rally is not the kind of a hero you want to be facing up against on the other side. Yeah. Granted, he was locked up. He was picked first out of that lock pool, if I'm not mistaken. So not really able to stop that. So maybe it just wasn't the best choice to go Drunken Master this game against him. But on top of that, I was in a comment, besides the shield, they have Plague Rider. He's leveling up. He's getting that Cursed Shield. You got the Demented Shaman as well. With that Storm Cloud is providing so much armor here against the Hellborn team.
Yeah, their threat is a lot of physical with that Drunken Master. And you're right. I mean, a lot of ways to kind of counter that. So that on top of this very, very solid lead that LEFU has, it already is looking pretty on the poor side here for BLZN. 23.5 minutes in approaching, but of course still going to hold their ground and see what they can make happen. Lodestone continuing to farm up in the jungle here. He's definitely coming along pretty nicely. The Helm of the Black Legion, Blood Chalice, Ghost Marchers. He's got a solid core going on. Bubbles does have the portal key, of course. 1,000 gold saved up on top of that, so he's at it for a little bit, it looks like. 1,500 more gold saved up on Drunken Master. So again, the Shrunken Head is definitely in the works here. And you got to think that's no doubt will be a very good item for him, but as I still think then you're dealing with the whole a lot of mitigation over here on the Legion side. So
a lot of mitigation. You got to go back and look at too what they passed up in order to pick up this Drunken Master. They could have actually grabbed that Pebbles. Initially, Master of Arms was first pick, and they responded with that Drunken Master plus Torture on the other side. We were looking at the Pebbles, we were looking at the Wood saying, hey, those are viable options. And now they're facing against a rally. They don't have much immobilize on their team.
Yeah.
The Drunken Master is getting screwed over by this rally, whereas the Pebbles might be able to do more with that free farm that he received. And on the other side, you are facing that Pebbles who has that total free farm and total control right now. A little bit of a slow start. I was worried since Drunken Master was doing so well, and Pebbles was still whiles off to his portal key, but they managed to just put the fights together, and at this point, it's just... I'm not sure. They can't really jump into that, because all of their initiation is very prone to getting kited. Like, even the Lodestone, for instance, if Rally compels or tablet someone away from that Lodestone, a lot of the effects of that ultimate are also just totally nullified.
Yeah, you do see the very offensive Stormcloud right there, actually hitting 3 heroes, and it gets Drunken Torture and Bubbles to immediately fall back. Lodestone still feeling pretty confident. Lodestone a little too confident, though. Wrecked is going to be gone right here. Look at Lodestone. Again, as beefy as he somewhat is, he just drops. I mean, he got jumped, he drops, and just like that, it's a 5 versus 4. You do see Torture right here, has that bound eye pickup, even using it right there, trying to counter ward, but unfortunately was not close enough to the ward of sight. So it will remain in that bottom lane. But a big pick for the Legion team, and going to now move around. It looks like they may go for Kongor. Nope, going to move past Kongor, and instead going to go for the middle lane, Drunken Master. Yeah, he needs to be careful, because he was definitely going to be gone on. He still may be gone on if he's not careful. He is somewhat back, though. So Master of Arms instead will just go right into the lane and pretty much get BLZN to jump him, if anything. But obviously that would be a poor decision, as you do see everyone is ready and nearby. Here we go with that Kongor attempt, though. It is definitely happening now. And he's already getting close to half-life here. There is no vision. Okay, there is actually a little bit of vision here. Misa Campo does have a ward aside just on the outside of the Kongor pit. So they probably have at least a little bit of an idea, but even if they do, don't know if they're the most confident about stopping it. But again, it's that double-edged sword, man. It's like, okay, well, if we just gave up a Kongor, couldn't really stop it, but now can we even stop this? Master of Arms has a Nullfire Blade on top of that Token of Life. He just got right there.
It's just a matter of cutting your losses, man. They don't have what it takes to do an open field Congo fight, especially against that Plague Rider where, you know, his Plague would just have total free reign, so opting to let it go instead. Yeah, it always comes down to this, man. When you see that snowball advantage, it's a lot easier to expand your lead, and until a team really screws up, it's hard to capitalize at a point like this. They have pretty much all the tools they need, a little bit of a superior initiation, given that they have this huge golden experience advantage. There's nothing they can really do. There's no clear target they need to jump on due to the fact that Rally is capable of saving almost anyone on top of the Master of Arms, and that's what you wanted to avoid. That's why we saw, wasn't it Magnus that we saw get banned out instead of the Master of Arms?
I think he was the final ban, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, Magnus was banned out, so honestly, that's what BLZN has to look more towards.
Oh, this is going to be big. A big Plague right there. Bubbles is going to be in a lot of trouble as well as Aluna. They both fall. They win for the Kona Plague Rider. They do eventually get it. But a 2-for-1 exchange right there.
Plague Rider, what are you doing?
What happened?
Big ulti. I think he actually could have moved to survive there. Yeah, I think he was just tanking the creep wave. Winded up dying. He was probably like jumping up and down and celebrating. He's like, yeah,
big turnaround.
Turn it around. No. But
still was a big turnaround.
If I'm not mistaken, we can actually go back and look at those right now, but I'm pretty sure they banned out a Magnus over a Master of Arms, and well, I think with Rally in the lock pool and the fact that there were no junglers, sure there was a lodestone.
Yeah.
But they had a whole banning phase to go through, and Master of Arms is already one of those heroes that you look at as being a premier hero that you want to take out in the first place. We can't actually see it because the game's already made, remember?
Right? Oh, true. Yeah,
yeah,
good
I mean,
point,
that's
never mind.
Not going to be accurate, but you got to say, what are you thinking in giving them that combination?
Yeah. Well, bet you they're thinking right now that might not have been the best move because they are down by quite a bit. 14,000 gold, 17,000 experience to get, especially with that turnaround at the bottom lane. Although Plague Rider did have kind of a facepalm moment there at the end. Eventually died. Still was a beautiful turnaround. Great Plague on top of the Pebbles jumping in. And also the Defensive Master's Call initially to save it. And on top of that, you got a Master of Arms who is level 16 now. So maximum efficiency coming out of that Master's Call here being level 3. On top of his damage output, he picks up a Warhammer there. Definitely could very possibly be a shield breaker. I don't think a Shrunken Head is necessary at this point, especially. So just going out for even more damage output. Wouldn't be surprised to see for the good old Master of Arms. Then obviously that Token of Life on top of it all. Still has about 4 minutes and 20 seconds remaining on that. So things have definitely come together very nicely here for LEFU, approaching that 29-minute mark. Blazing, doing what they can, still farming up quite a bit. You got that Shrunken Head on Drunken. You have Lodestone with another 1,700 gold, and you got an Arcana on Bubbles. Those are definitely some key item pickups there. But I just saw something. Oh, that's a Hellflower. Just picked up on Pebbles, though, in the meantime. Again, no damage amplifier anymore, but even a little bit longer duration that it lasts as a result of taking that away amongst a couple other things. So
yeah, I mean, at this point, they don't really have the map control to split push aggressively and make sure they can just gather whatever resources they can. The Legion team isn't splitting up, so going for really quick pickoffs and trying to drag the game out a little bit longer isn't really an option for the Shrunken Master to sort of spiral out of control. Shrunken Head is up, but with the protective abilities of the Rally and Master Arms with the armor, it doesn't seem like it's going to matter even if he has free reign of this fight.
Yeah.
Kind of a sad situation where you're sort of forced to go that Shrunken Head right away on this Shrunken Master in the first place.
Yeah. Okay, it is going to be a Shrunken Head on Master of Arms, it looks like. So, still, again, it's definitely the safer route. I mean, it's the route of why not, I guess. Wants to make sure that he will be able to stay alive if he does happen to be all-out gone on. But they are going to push this bottom tower now into the base. Again, the token's still plenty of time left, just under 3 minutes here. So they can be banging on the door for a while. So far, BLZN not doing too much as far as creep clearing. The Shell Surf comes out, but the tower is dropping fairly fast right here. One more creep wave at this rate.
Didn't look like that Master of Arms believed in uphill miss at all either.
Yeah.
Just every single hit I was watching, it's like, nope, that's colliding, so.
Yep. Yeah, but it dropped pretty well. Look at that, Demented Shaman throwing out that Storm Cloud.
Yeah, this is where they're looking to fully commit here. Bubbles, Shell Surf is down, so his initiation here is going to be harder. If he was going to try to make anything happen there, he kind of needed to save that Shell Surf to try to jump in on the enemy team. They did have Glyph up, though, so he will have it up in time.
All Rifle denies the tower LE, so again, at least a very small victory in the battle.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, they can go in with this next wave, or they can choose to wait the 12 seconds, and at the follow-up wave, Demented Shaman will have his ultimate, just so they can approach with even more impunity. That's
The Nacho Cheese Man Melee Rex sitting here ready to be gone on. In fact, there you go. Master of Arms leading the way.
Not be unseen.
Portal key on Lodestone, so that's definitely. In fact, okay, no, he's not going to go in right here. Oh, yes, he has. The Shadow Storm is activated. He's looking to jump in. Oh, he doesn't really jump in though. It hits Pebbles, but Pebbles went first. The big Blinker coming out on top of the Hellborn team. They are starting to fall apart right here. The Kelpha though coming up from Bubbles doing a little bit of damage. Drunken Master able to take advantage of that, but Lodestone eventually falls. Bubbles will go down. And then Melee Rax is going to start falling now. In fact, there it goes. Nobody dying for the Legion team. Seismic Slam from Rally as he was able to jump towards her. GG, well played is being called. That will do it officially for game number 1 here in this best out of 3. So LEFU does take out BLZN in game number 1. Well-deserved victory indeed. BLZN going the Drunken Master. Had a good start. I mean, Drunken Master was getting that free farm.
He had an okay start, but they didn't box out the Rally. Rally just leveled up just fine. And then Drunken Master wasn't able to use the farm advantage to pressure the Rally doll. Rally, once the teammates left to go roam, they set up awesome kills top, but Rally actually looked like he had the advantage in that matchup. He had, despite being 200 gold per minute down, he had lane control. He had everything back to his tower. Eventually had that Master of Arms teleport to the bottom lane and set up a kill. Really seamlessly, and from that point out of the game, it seemed like Drunken Master got frustrated, kept trying to get return kills onto his teammates, like the Master of Arms, and he never was able to put it together. So just a lot more bursts, a lot more safe heroes in general here on the Legion side, and they just displayed a little bit better teamwork. I don't like the fact that Master of Arms wasn't banned out. I don't like the fact that they picked up the Drunken Master instead of the Pebbles here with the composition, which gave way to Legion being able to pick up a lineup of such strength in the first place.
Yeah. Yeah, true. It was fun seeing Drunken Master, but it didn't really have too much of an impact in the end, which was the unfortunate side to that. Also got to see the debut of Lodestone at least on Honcast, and the Shatter Storm, it no doubt has potential to be a very powerful initiating tool, but again, kind of a similar case of BLZN just kind of playing from behind for most of that game.
Right.
Didn't get to see the full impact, but well-deserved victory there for LEFU indeed. But again, game number 1 here in this best out of 3, so as always, we are going to take a short break here. We do have game number 2 going to be coming up just around the corner. Sit tight, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 2 coming up next.